Hey guys, welcome to the future. This is the Business Bootcamp Sales and Marketing course module. I'm your instructor for today. My name is Chris Doe, and that is Mr. Ben Burns sitting over to my right.
Hey everybody.
All right, so let's just jump right into it. Here's the agenda for today. We're going to talk about a quick introduction, the goals and worksheet, the conversion funnel, know who, know where, examples, plans, summary, and resources. And there is a workbook that you're supposed to download as part of this module. So you're going to want to have that handy. And some of this stuff will instruct you on how to do. And so it's a part of, you watch the video, you do the worksheets, and you kind of go at your own pace. Let's jump into it. First of all, I want to just say, what are we doing here? What are we trying to do? And I want you just to make sure that you have the mental space to be able to be fully immersed and to be present, to be here, and not think about the other things that may be distracting you from what you need to take away from this module here. Things like the bills you got to pay, the clients that you got to send out an invoice for. What are the things that are going to be distracting you right now, Mr. Ben Burns?
Kids, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend.
Oh, you went straight to the personal stuff.
Just straight
personal.
Life gets in the way.
Life does get in the way.
So shut it out.
Let's shut it out for right now. Block out some time, and you need to be fully present to be here to get the most out of this module. Let's keep moving forward. One thing I want you guys to know about is that oftentimes we're thinking about doing big dramatic changes to our life. I find that in my own personal experience it doesn't happen like that, and that could be very overwhelming. So this is a little idea that we took from the Compound Effect, a book written by Darren Hardy, and he talks about making small, smart choices, applying it consistently over time, and it can have a radical and dramatic difference in your life. So what we're asking you today is to think about the small little choices that you can make that will add up to a big effect. So do a little bit every single day. Take, for example, this particular course. It is going to be several modules long, and you're going to want to kind of take this kind of at a pace in which you can absorb and understand the materials. So don't feel pressured to do all of this in one sitting. I don't recommend to do it that way. I want to talk a little bit about my why. What is it that I'm trying to do? So I've been very fortunate in my life to achieve a certain amount of professional and financial success that I feel like now, what is the next arc of my career? What is it that I want to do? Why am I standing here in front of you, in front of this camera? Well, I'll tell you why. Because many, many years ago, I am a refugee from Vietnam, and we came to this country. We lost our home, we lost our culture, we lost everything, and we had to start over. And by no means were we well off. We were scraping up, barely making ends meet on government-assisted programs, and I've been able to achieve a part of that American dream. This is my hope that I can share some of that with you. And my goal is to do something that has an impact on the lives of other people way beyond what we're doing right here physically in Santa Monica. And so in my inbox, in my direct messages, whether I'm on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, I get little messages like this every single day. And this is the fuel that fires me. And I believe this is what my mission and purpose is. So beyond just doing design and professional work and teaching you guys, the point of it all is to have an impact on your lives. I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Ben Burns. Ben, what's your why?
Hey guys, so currently I'm the digital director here at Blind. But before that, I started and ran my own design agency. And a big part of that success was Mr. Doe, the future, and the things that I learned here. And the more that I worked with Chris, the more I realized how valuable this content was. And it came to me one day that I just needed to be a part of it. So I dropped everything, I closed up shop, and moved to Santa Monica from Richmond, Virginia. And I'm here. And the reason why I'm here is to provide the same kind of value and my experience that Mr. Doe has brought to the table.
So the big bearded gentleman to my right is our digital design director, and he's here to help really you're here to help us kind of drive the mission forward. Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks for sharing that, Ben. And let's talk about goals and the goals for the workshop. Now I'm gonna ask you guys, what is your goal? And I want you to take a minute to think about what that means to you. What is it you hope to get from taking this course? What do you want to achieve? So down below you will see a PDF in which you can download and fill out, and I'm going to walk you through on how to do that. This is page 3, your current marketing efforts, what you do per month. Okay, so we're going to just ask you to do a ballpark guess. Your best guesstimate is good enough for what we're trying to do here. The first prompt is, what are you doing to build awareness? want you to think about that. Ben, how can somebody else think about that question?
So it's really, how do you get the phone to ring? When people call you for work, especially leads, where does that come from? What actions do you take to generate those things?
Okay, so it's not just about getting the phone to ring, but it could be a new business inquiry through email. So we're in the digital age. A lot of times it happens on the phone. A lot of times it can happen via an email inquiry. So what are you doing to build awareness so that somebody is motivated to pick up the phone or shoot you an email? Next to that is, how often are you doing this per month? Are you doing it once a month? 3 times a month? What are we talking about here? How often are you doing this? Next up is the numbers of leads generated. We're not talking about actual real prospects yet. These are just leads, and we want to think about that, okay? So you may get 100 emails for work, but only 5 of them turn out to be true. But in this column, write down how many leads it's generated for you. So we recently launched an email campaign, and we picked up over 1,000 emails. And that was by creating an inbound personal branding worksheet that resulted in a net result of over 1,000 emails. Now, of those leads, how many of them are viable? How many of them require you to take action for you to follow up on? And you can use a number of criteria to determine if these leads are viable. It could be time frame, it could be the scope of work, it could be the type of work. If you get a lead that's interested in doing something that you don't currently do or don't want to do, that's not a viable lead. So something that's aligned to what it is that you do and fits your budget and schedule. Okay, that's the next one. And then of those viable leads, how many of those result in a close? By close, I mean, how many of them were you able to bid on or provide a proposal or even to do a handshake deal that actually led to a piece of new business? So let's do that in a percentage. So if you have 10 viable leads from 1,000 leads generated, of those 10, if you booked 3 of them, that would be a 30% close ratio. So go ahead and do the math. Think about how much revenue they generated for you. And again, we're talking about an average month. So what we want to do is throw out the outliers. So if you had a really horrible January, throw that out. And if you had like a bonanza November, throw that out. Look at your average because you don't want to skew it too high or too low. So let's take a moment now to go ahead and fill it out and fill out as many things as you can think of that's building awareness for your business. And then when you're ready to continue on to the next slide.